what it all boils down to is they've made a game that they want to make. And, you know, I think people respond to that, and 5 million users later. So again, Jonathan, guys, Path of Exile.
Today, I ascend to godhood, and your death shall pave the way.
For those just tuning in, we are talking with Jonathan Rogers, lead developer, lead programmer for Path of Exile.
Lead programmer.
Lead programmer for Path of Exile. Again, you've got 5 million registered users. You're growing on, you know, we're on Twitch. It's obviously has a good presence. But for those that want to jump into the game, it's free to play. What's the easiest way? Because, you know, I jumped in literally. You know, I did about 4 months ago. There's, as any really good game or ARPG is, there's something of a learning curve. What's the best place to start for people?
My personal recommendation is don't try too hard to, like, don't worry too much about your build being bad or anything like that.
First mistake I made.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, like a lot of people, they'll go into the game, they'll open up the passive skill tree and they'll think, what? It's crazy.
Right.
You know, I don't understand it. I'm like, you know, what I think people need to do is not be afraid of just trying whatever you feel like, you know, just seeing what works. And if your first character is bad, that's okay. Like, you don't necessarily have to play that character forever. We give you 24 character slots. They're there for a reason. That said, there are some build sites out there, you know, that will tell you. There's the Path of Exile wiki is really good for learning information. But as I said, I don't really necessarily recommend that stuff. I kind of personally prefer just to sort of explore and, you know, do things naturally.
Path of Exile, I hate to use the word hardcore, but I mean, it is one of those games out there. If you are missing how Diablo perhaps once was to someone, as you might say, or you want the original ARPG experience, the dark, the crawl, this is the game for people like that. And again, March 5th, at Path of Exile, there's a couple of teasers going out there. But yeah, again, Jonathan, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy LA, all right?
All right, I will. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a reason we can't have news pegs?
Yes, because you offended me, but I will do them anyway. Alright. The Call of Duty Ghosts Onslaught DLC pack is now available for PlayStation and PC.
Next story we're going to talk about is what we can expect from the next Assassin's Creed.
Yes.
That's a graphic.
That's a graphic.
Well, this was actually from the
Jade
game.
Raymond, excuse me?
This is from the game director. This particular one.
Yeah.
Ashraf Ishmael.
Ashraf.
That's right. That. And he said that the idea that people were responding very well to Edward.
Interesting.
Yeah, he said even the idea that Edward is
I didn't, but...
Well, he said, we expect it from players, but they are playing in the world trying to get loot to upgrade the Jackdaw. People really liked the idea he was going after gold. Every Assassin's Creed attempts to create a new hero that is unique and exciting, but also fits well into the context of the game. All of this boils down to is we don't know who the next hero is going to be. We do know that it's not going to be in feudal Japan. If you want to Skype in, we've got some windows open here if you want to jump in. What would people like to see out of the next Assassin's Creed 4? I'll start. I don't really see any need for any more ships. I'm kind of over that.
McDevitt might have said that they might be done with ships.
Well, I would like to think
Although
so.
I love
mean,
the
that would
ships.
be 3 straight games.
I love being a pirate, but mostly because of the sea shanties.
But they're trying to be kind of like ninjas. You might as well just go to Japan already. People are asking for it. People want it. You could go all the way to China, for instance. You can do all that. There's lots of rife history and internal conflict in China.
Well, there's also no game that really tells that story.
A lot of Japanese developed RPGs go to that time period.
But I mean, you're talking about a global game, though. Next
that?
Discussion is about the game industry and what it can learn from Double Fine Studios.
Double Fine! After playing Brutal Legend, I'm kind of just obligated to...
No, you don't have to
that's how I
explain
say Double
yourself.
Fine.
Again, Tim Schafer, CEO, founder, what have you, of Double Fine. You have to take the next publishing deal that you can get, and they're like, well, it's really got terrible terms. And we're like, we'll take it, just to stay in business. We don't want to miss payroll, so we take it. And that one is the bad deal, which has terrible recoup terms. And they take our intellectual property or something, but at the end, we're back to zero again.
Yeah.
It's a very, extemporaneous...
He talked about how, like, making the game itself was wound up being the least stressful part of the equation, and it was like shipping the game and wondering where the hell their next meal was coming from. And I'm like, wow, man, that's super... I'm glad they pulled through. I'm glad Tim Schafer took his gut and his team pulled through.
Well, and now what do? Instead of going to a publisher, they go straight through Steam. There's a new game called Gods Will Be Watching.
That's the way you do it.
It was an Indiegogo game. It was supposed to come out this month.
Yeah.
In June, they're going to be releasing the game. Here's a preview of it. This is their 50-second teaser that came out today, and it's a very interesting-looking game. The main character dies, so if that's going to spoil your experience. What the? Point and click thriller is what they call it. Sci-fi thriller.
Whoa.
Well, this is lovely.
I remember us talking about it a little while back.
For those who might remember Broforce in here, this is the same distributor, Devolver Digital.
Looked
So
very 80s cyberpunk.
Sure.
Like
80s
the
Cyberpunk
old
also
school
is
Deus
acceptable.
Ex, a little bit of the new school.
AI,
too.
this might be down your alley.
Yes, I wanted to say it actually reminded me a lot of Space Quest from Sierra.
Ah.
Looked very similar.
Sierra.
That's an old, yeah.
Yeah, that's an old.
That
turn it back
Space
to
Quest. That
Throwback
was a name I've not
Thursday. I
heard
appreciate
in a
that.
long time.
$9. Anyway.
Do you know how Steam sales work, Paul?
I know how we covered it on yesterday's show, Brian. This is Game Talk Live. We cover every corner of the internet for top gaming news stories.
All I do is stand and fight.
That's awesome.